Scorpio, August begins by bringing a completely different vibe from what you have experienced in recent months. It's as if, gradually and steadily, some pieces are finally starting to fall into place, and you can at last see a much clearer path for your own life. This doesn't mean that all of your challenges will suddenly vanish, but you'll notice a powerful inner strength emerging to face what once seemed far too heavy to carry alone. For a long time, you had to deal with situations that required courage, resilience, and a lot of patience. There were moments when it seemed like all your effort outweighed the results you achieved. August arrives precisely to change that perception. You will start to realize that not everything that seemed like a setback was actually a loss. In a great many instances, life was merely preparing you to shoulder much greater responsibilities. One of the most striking aspects of this period will be your search for purpose. You may feel a much stronger need to understand why certain experiences happened and what valuable lessons they left behind. Instead of just fulfilling daily obligations, you will feel a desire to find more meaning in everything you do. This reflection will be extremely positive because it will help you make decisions that are much more aligned with your true values. In your professional life, August favors those who show initiative. An opportunity may arise for you to take on a new role, participate in a different project, or showcase skills that have so far remained hidden. Don't be afraid to accept new challenges just because they seem bigger than your comfort zone. Many important achievements begin precisely when we accept the chance to grow beyond what we already master. At the same time, the month calls for balance. Your determination is one of your greatest qualities, but there is a risk of wanting to solve everything on your own. Not every battle needs to be faced without help. Learning to share responsibilities with trustworthy people will allow you to preserve your spiritual energy for what truly depends on you. In the financial area, August will be an excellent time to organize your priorities. You may start to notice that some expenses can be reconsidered or that certain goals deserve more attention than impulsive spending. It won't be a period of great excess, but rather of building. Everything you do now with the future in mind will increase your sense of security in the coming months. Your family life will also come into focus. Important conversations may happen much more smoothly than you imagined. People who once seemed distant will be more open to dialogue, as long as you are also willing to listen without making premature judgments. In many cases, the solution will lie less in words and more in the willingness to understand the other person. Another important point involves your emotional, spiritual energy. August invites you to stop carrying burdens that no longer make sense. There are worries that have remained simply out of habit. You've gotten so used to thinking about them that you've almost forgotten what it's like to live more lightly. This will be an excellent time to let go of old guilt, resentments, and excessive self-criticism. It will also be a particularly favorable month to strengthen your spiritual life or your connection with whatever brings you deep inner peace, no matter exactly how you experience it. Setting aside a few minutes for reflection, prayer, meditation, or simply for silence can bring answers that would hardly appear amid the rush of daily life. As August begins to reveal its pace, you will notice that some opportunities will arrive in unexpected ways. They may not seem grand at first glance, but they could represent important changes in the future. The most important thing for you to remember will be to keep an open mind and avoid dismissing potential opportunities just because they appear in a way that is quite different from what you had imagined. The beginning of this month brings a very clear message for Scorpio. You are entering a new cycle where confidence, discipline, and clarity will walk side by side. The more you trust in the experience you have gained throughout your life, the more prepared you will be to build a solid, balanced future that is much closer to what you truly desire. Throughout the month of August, Scorpio, you will notice that the clarity and answers you seek will come through the people who happen to cross your path. They won't necessarily always be long conversations or extraordinary events. In many cases, all it will take is an unexpected encounter, a message received at just the right moment, or an opportunity to reconnect with someone who hasn't been part of your routine for a while. These connections will play an important role in renewing your spirits. There is a tendency for you to feel more appreciated by people who recognize your dedication. For a long time, you may have felt that your efforts went unnoticed, but this month begins to reveal a different reality. Simple gestures of recognition will have a much greater impact than you imagine and will strengthen your confidence to keep moving forward. In your professional life, August calls for attention to relationships within the workplace. Not everyone will have the same goals as you, and that's part of working together. Instead of wasting spiritual energy trying to convince resistant people, focus on what depends directly on your own actions. Your balanced attitude will be much more effective than any direct confrontation. You may also find it necessary to reorganize your commitments, schedules, or projects. At first, this may seem like a significant setback, but with a calmer perspective, you'll realize that these changes will help you avoid much bigger problems in the future. Flexibility will be an extremely important quality for you during this period. The more willing you are to adapt your plans, the more easily you will find solutions. If you are planning a trip or some important commitment, it's worth reviewing the details in advance. Double-checking schedules, documents, reservations, or arrangements will help you avoid unnecessary worries. This is not a warning about major difficulties, but rather an invitation to get organized. Small precautions now will prevent simple situations from turning into sources of stress. Your communication skills will also stand out. There will be moments when you need to start conversations you've been putting off for some time. Maybe it's with a family member, a coworker, or even a friend you've grown apart from. You'll realize that many barriers existed only because both of you were waiting for the other to take the first step. In the financial realm, August favors conscious decisions. Before making major purchases or taking on new commitments, try to assess whether it truly makes sense for your current reality. This won't be a period of limitations, but rather of smart choices. Investing in what strengthens your stability will yield much more lasting results than satisfying momentary desires. Another important aspect of this month will be your relationship with time. You will begin to understand that not everything needs to happen immediately. Some achievements require maturation, preparation, and consistency. Gaining this deeper understanding will reduce your feelings of anxiety and allow you to make the most of each stage of the process, without feeling like you're constantly falling behind on your own goals. Your sensitivity will also be heightened. You will easily notice when an environment brings tranquility or when certain situations drain your spiritual energy. Trust this perception. This doesn't mean judging people or jumping to conclusions, but rather learning to respect what is good for your emotional balance. In friendships, August favors sincere relationships. People who truly wish you well will show their support in very natural ways, while superficial connections may fade away without the need for conflict. Don't try to maintain relationships out of obligation when there is no longer reciprocity. Sometimes life simply reorganizes who remains by our side. By the end of this phase of the month, it will be clear that you are learning something extremely valuable. Your strength does not depend solely on your ability to face difficulties, but also on the wisdom to recognize which battles truly deserve your dedication. This discernment will be one of the most valuable gifts August will bring to Scorpio, preparing you for even more crucial decisions in the weeks to come. In the second half of August, Scorpio, you will gradually start to realize that many of the answers you were seeking will not depend on major events, but on how you choose to perceive and interpret each experience. Some situations will remain the same on the outside, but you will be different on the inside. And when that happens, decisions that once seemed difficult become much more natural. You will feel a greater need to protect your peace. Environments filled with complaints, constant conflicts, or people who are always feeding negativity will start to bother you more than before. Instead of insisting on changing those who don't want to change, you'll realize that you can simply choose where to invest your attention. This change in attitude will make a huge difference in your well-being. At work, your perception will be especially sharp. You will be able to spot opportunities even before they become obvious to others. In the same way, you will also notice when a certain project, negotiation, or partnership deserves more caution. This will not be a time to act on impulse. The more you observe before deciding, the greater your chances of making the right choices. If you work directly with clients, sales, service provision, or negotiations, try to analyze each proposal calmly. Not every seemingly advantageous opportunity will actually be positive. Read contracts, confirm information, and don't be afraid to ask questions when you feel the need. Prudence during this period will be a sign of intelligence, not distrust. Financially, August continues to encourage planning. An unexpected expense or a cost that wasn't part of your initial plans may arise. Despite this, you will realize that it will be perfectly possible to reorganize your budget without major losses. The important thing will be to avoid emotional decisions and keep your focus on what truly strengthens your stability. Another favorable aspect involves your ability to reorganize your routine. You may find more efficient ways to manage your time, making your day much more productive without having to increase your work pace. Small changes in your habits will yield surprising results, especially if you've been feeling like there weren't enough hours to fulfill all your responsibilities. In family life, some conversations may bring important clarifications. Situations that seemed unresolved will begin to find a path toward understanding. Not everyone will always agree with you, but there will be more willingness to listen and build solutions together. This will help to alleviate the underlying tensions that had been silently building up. Your sensitivity will remain quite intense during this phase of the month. You will easily notice when a certain decision is aligned with what you truly want, and you will also instinctively sense when something simply doesn't make sense for your personal journey. Trust this perception, but avoid jumping to conclusions. Sometimes it's necessary to observe a bit more before forming a definitive opinion. For those seeking personal growth, August favors studies, courses, reading, and any activity that broadens your knowledge. There is a very interesting opportunity to develop skills that could open important doors in the future. Do not underestimate what you learn today. The knowledge you acquire now could turn into a significant advantage later on. In the area of relationships, this will be a period of maturity. If you are in a relationship, you will come to the realization that true security is deeply rooted in the trust built daily, rather than from the need to control everything that happens. Healthy relationships grow when there is room for dialogue, respect, and freedom. Those who are single may gradually come to see love in a very different way. Instead of chasing after every little opportunity just to fill a void, you will begin to truly value those deep connections that bring lasting peace, mutual admiration, and genuine reciprocity. Implementing this change will make your choices significantly more conscious and deliberate. When this stage of August comes to an end, you will realize that you are better prepared to face any challenge that arises. Your strength will continue to be one of your greatest traits, but now it will be accompanied by something even more important: discernment. Knowing exactly when to act, when to wait, and when to allow certain situations to naturally run their own course will be one of Scorpio's greatest achievements this month. As August comes to its final days, Scorpio, you will realize that this was much more than just a simple sequence of events. It was a period of maturation. While some definitive answers have finally arrived, others are still slowly making their way toward you. But there is one certainty that is steadily beginning to grow much stronger within you: the quiet confidence that it is truly possible to build a much better future without carrying the heavy burden of wanting to control absolutely everything. Many times in the past, you believed you needed to solve all problems immediately. Whenever a difficulty arose, your first reaction was to look for a quick solution, even if that required a huge emotional toll. The month of August teaches us the valuable lesson that not every situation depends solely on your hands. Certain life circumstances mature naturally. When you do your part and patiently allow for enough time to complete what cannot yet be resolved. In your professional life, the end of the month favors important adjustments. You may be able to recognize and identify more efficient ways to work, thoughtfully reorganize your priorities, or even redefine goals that no longer make sense. Don't be afraid to abandon strategies that have ceased to be effective or productive. Adapting to change shows true intelligence and resilience, not weakness. Those who are self-employed or have personal projects may finish the month of August with significantly clearer and more defined ideas about their next steps. You might find a new way to promote your work, improve your results, or expand your reach to new audiences. The most important thing is not to let the fear of making mistakes stop you from putting good ideas into practice. In the financial area, the month ends by reinforcing a message of responsibility and balance. Even though there are unavoidable expenses, you will realize that your organization truly makes all the difference in the world. Making small and conscious decisions now will help to establish a significantly stronger sense of security in the coming months. Prosperity is also born from daily discipline. Another important lesson involves your relationship with expectations. Not everyone will react or respond to your actions exactly the way you might expect. And that doesn't necessarily mean a reason for feeling deep disappointment. In many different cases, it simply means that each unique individual has their own personal timing, specific internal limitations, and their own special way of showing affection, friendship, or genuine recognition. Understanding this will reduce unnecessary frustrations. Your intuition will remain powerful and reliable until the very end of the month. You will easily notice when a certain environment conveys tranquility and when a specific situation deserves much more of your attention. Trust this inner perception, but always try to combine your sensitivity with practical common sense. The best decisions usually come from balancing what you feel with what you can clearly observe in the world around you. In the realm of relationships, August ends by bringing an important lesson for Scorpio. Loving someone does not mean losing sight of who you are. If you are in a relationship, try to nurture what brings you together, but without sacrificing your own core values and individuality. Mature relationships grow when there is respect for each other's boundaries and dreams. Those who are single will also go through an important transformation. You will realize that you don't have to accept just any situation out of fear of being alone. The more deeply you cultivate self-respect, the greater your chances will be of attracting people who share those very same principles. Healthy love begins exactly at this point, when you understand that your happiness does not depend exclusively on the presence of another person. Another striking aspect will be your ability to bring past cycles to a final close without holding on to any lingering resentment. Some doors may close, some plans may change, and certain people may go their own separate ways. Instead of seeing this as a painful loss, you will begin to understand that each phase makes room for something new. Not everything that ends represents a failure. Many times, it simply marks the beginning of a new stage. Looking back, you will realize how much you have grown over the course of this month. Your innate courage remains present within you, but now it will be accompanied by a greater sense of balance, a deeper level of patience, and much more careful discernment. You will come to understand that true victory does not simply mean achieving your goals, but also preserving your inner peace as you build each new accomplishment. August ends with a very clear and powerful message for Scorpio. You do not need to prove your strength to the world all the time, for that power already exists within you. Now is the time to use that strength wisely, choosing your battles more carefully, valuing those who truly walk by your side, and trusting that the future will be built one step at a time. This will be the true distinguishing factor of your journey in the coming months.